Can Abingdon, Virginia be the next Asheville, North Carolina? This is Asheville, and this is Abingdon. They both start with A, but is that all they have in common? And how does Abingdon measure up to Asheville? Asheville, North Carolina is a trendy, artsy town we all know and love. It's a hotspot for art and food, where artists and even celebrities flock to. Zach Galifianakis might have a house there. I don't know, there's rumors though. But maybe that lone wolf should move over to Abingdon, Virginia and find his wolf pack. So it was freezing outside. It was probably about 4 degrees, but I went out there anyway so I could show you guys a little bit about Abingdon. Woo! Wolf Hills, Virginia, or at least that's what Daniel Boone called it back in the day, but today it's known as Abingdon, a small, peaceful town nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains of the Appalachians. You've maybe thought of moving here, but maybe this is your first time hearing of it. But why is it special and how could it possibly compete with Asheville? Stick around as we explore one of Virginia's best small towns. Hey, it's Brittany, a native to Bristol, and today I'm actually taking you about 20 minutes away from where I call home. And actually, it is one of my very favorite places to visit in our area, and that's Abingdon, Virginia. So I've done a few videos on the cost of living, both for Bristol and Virginia as a whole. But I want to backtrack a little before we dive into Abingdon. So Virginia is quickly becoming one of the most popular places for people to move, even more so than our neighbor, Tennessee. And it's actually in the top 5 for this past year, I believe. But looking at the cost of living overall in Virginia, it's a little higher than the national average, has a score of 101. But narrowing that down to Abingdon and other Southwest Virginia areas, it's actually about 17 points lower with a score of about 83. Looking at Asheville, on the other hand, it's 106, so 6 points higher than a national average. And as an added bonus for those who are looking to retire here, the state does not tax your Social Security. We as a state also have one of the lowest sales taxes in the nation, coming in at only 5.3%, and that applies to Abingdon as well, of course. But you can watch my previous videos to learn more about the cost of living in our area, and you can check out my website below to search for some properties on the market in Abingdon. But moving on to some of the more juicier pieces, we'll start with a little background. It's a small town of only about 8,300 people, only a few minutes from the hub of Bristol, and like Asheville, it is surrounded by the Appalachians. Although it's small, it does pack quite the punch. It has history, art, nature, community, and a food scene even denser than places like New York City. And maybe that sounds a little bit familiar? Let's start with a quick history lesson. It originally was territory to indigenous groups, including the Cherokee. In the mid-1700s, the land was surveyed out. By the 1770s, settlers began establishing roots here. One of those settlers, Joseph Black, built a fort in 1774, and that's where the town got its original name of Black's Fort. And this was during a time when the Cherokee allied with the British to push the colonists out, but it didn't work because 1776, it became the county seat of Washington County, and in 1778 received its name of Abingdon, which was named after Abingdon-on-Thames in England. Can you guess which First Lady's ancestral home was from there? If you guessed Martha Washington, you'd be right. Asheville has the famous Biltmore Estate. It's the largest residence house in the whole United States. But Abingdon has its own piece of history, the beautiful Martha Washington Inn, and it's one of the most iconic buildings around our area. It was built in 1812 as a residence, just like Biltmore, but over the years it has been used as a school, a training barracks for soldiers during the Civil War, and even a hospital. But as a hotel, it has hosted many famous people, including Elizabeth Taylor, Jimmy Carter, Eleanor Roosevelt. Today, you can enjoy a relaxing weekend away in a private suite or have a day at the spa. I've actually taken a tour of the inn before. It was really amazing to see the preservation and the appreciation for the past. And there were also a couple ghost stories if you're into the spooky history of places. But you can find the link to the Martha Washington Inn in the description below if you want to know a little bit more. But even older than the Martha is a place called the Tavern, another one of Abingdon's significant buildings. This place is actually one of the oldest buildings west of the Blue Ridges. It is the oldest in Abingdon and serves as the oldest bar in Virginia. It's actually the 8th oldest in the whole country. Asheville does not have one of these. Built in 1779, it has been a tavern and inn, post office, bakery, bank, residence, a Civil War hospital, and of course it's now a bar and restaurant. And like the Martha, it has seen the likes of Louis Philippe, who was the King of France, and our very own President Andrew Jackson. Today, you'll find a really cool tavern with an award-winning gourmet menu with steaks, pastas, seafood, and even some German dishes. I highly recommend it 100%. And their link is in the description below, so you might want to check it out and add it to your food bucket list. The third building in Abingdon that is really an icon and a legend is the Barter Theatre. It was founded in the 1930s during the Great Depression, and it got its name because the cost of admission used to be paid by things like produce, livestock, dairy. You bartered your way in. And actually, the first motto of the Barter was trading ham for Hamlet. Many famous Hollywood actors and actresses got their start here, so if anyone else thinks that Kevin Spacey was really brilliant in House of Cards, you can thank the Barter because he was one that got his acting start here. The theater is still going strong today and is the oldest professional theater in the whole entire country. There are multiple productions going on at any given time. You could see classics like The Wizard of Oz or Mary Poppins, or maybe something a little more modern and intimate. When I stopped by today, they were actually running Miracle on 34th Street. It's a Christmas classic and it is Christmas season. Of course, their link is down below if you want to see what shows are going on or what shows are coming up for this next year. You can't talk about Asheville without talking about art. But Abingdon has its own colorful scene. Yes, of course, the Barter included, but there's really so much more to discover. You could actually probably spend a whole weekend just exploring Abingdon's art scene. From authentic Appalachian pieces to modern, one place truly unique is the Holston Mountain Artisan Shop. Not only is it the oldest collective in the whole country, you can catch a class or demonstration from artisans trained in traditional Appalachian arts. You also don't want to miss the William King Museum of Art, where you'll find international, regional, modern, folk, and other really culturally rich pieces. Downtown Abingdon is probably like 20 blocks of art and history, so you're going to find something around every corner. Another one is the gallery at Bar Photographics, and this showcases regional artists and a number of them on display at any given time. Maybe history and art is not really your thing, but what about nature? This area has some of the most beautiful natural beauty you will find anywhere. Asheville and Abingdon are both in the same mountain range, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Of course, we're right here in the heart of the Appalachians, so we have the Appalachian Trail. Another really incredible place for one-of-a-kind hiking is the Great Channels. It's not right in Abingdon, but it's just a short drive. And this is like, you're like on another planet. It's like an otherworldly maze of sandstone, boulders, and crevices that were formed way back in the last ice age. This place it's just really amazing. And one day I will probably have to go so I can show you guys in person. But Abingdon is also one of the trailheads for the world famous Creeper Trail. And this is actually a well-known 34-mile-long biking trail that people from all over the world come to. I have made this journey once upon a time, or a few times actually, and it is a challenge, but a well worth it challenge. If you're not an avid biker, your butt might get a little sore, but you'll hardly even notice when you're surrounded by mountains, the biking past rolling farmland and waterfalls. It's a really beautiful ride, and luckily you can choose to do the full trail or just a small section of it. If water activities is more your style, there's the South Holston Lake for fishing, boating, jet skiing, and of course swimming. You can find marinas and campgrounds all around the lake for you to spend some time out on the water. And of course there's golfing, parks, and even rock climbing. So it truly is an outdoor paradise. And Abingdon, I would dare say, is even more of an outdoorsman paradise than Asheville. After all that outdoor activity or exploring historic downtown, you'll probably be hungry. Well, you are definitely in luck because Abingdon has an incredible food scene. It actually has been voted best small town food scene, not once, not twice, but 4 times, and for a really good reason. We are definitely giving Asheville a run for its money here. There are about 30 privately, independently owned restaurants, from gourmet to breweries, farm to table, bakeries, cafes. There's places like White Birch Food and Juice that was featured in Vogue, or for a sit an upscale Asian fusion restaurant, or somewhere a little bit more down to earth like Pecan 128. You're going to have your taste buds dancing no matter where you choose though. And one thing I do know is you're not going to find a single chain restaurant in downtown Abingdon. And everything you do find there is unique and really delicious. And if you drive a little bit out of the city, you'll find Abingdon Vineyards, which we know you cannot have a foodie's paradise without a winery. One thing about Abingdon and our whole area really is the fact that community is a big part of who we are. Asheville may be bigger and have a lot going on, but our small town isn't exactly boring. So whether it's the year-round farmers market, the Highlands Festival in the summer, which is dedicated to our Appalachian arts and music, and for example, right now there's something called the Festival of Trees. And this is where you place donations like hygiene items or pet supplies beside of your favorite decorated tree. And all of those donations are giving to local charities and animal rescues. And of course, just 20 minutes drive outside of Abingdon, you'll hit Bristol, where there are so many community events going on at any given time. All of these wonderful things about Abingdon are really just the tip of the iceberg, and is one of many great towns around our region. Abingdon has highly rated schools, a low crime rate like Asheville, but a low cost of living. People are welcoming, hospitable, and take a really great pride in their town. It's a blend of history, culture, and warm Southern community. And finding a place like Abingdon and living there is like hitting the jackpot. So let's revisit the question. Is Abingdon the next Asheville? I would answer yes and no. Abingdon does have as much to offer as Asheville, and it's just as special. But while we want to share this special place with everyone all around, we also want to keep it a little more boutique. Again, I'm Brittany, a native to Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, and a local real estate agent specializing in relocation. We love Abingdon and our whole area of Southwest Virginia, but I want to help you move here with confidence, feeling like someone has got your back and can anticipate your needs. While I do understand the stress and the difficulties of moving from one place to another and the process of home buying from A to Z, every person who comes through that door will be treated with integrity, professionalism, and care. In the past, I have lived in multiple bigger cities like Nashville and Toronto, even all the way in other countries like China. And going from that lifestyle and back to the small city life definitely caused some culture shock and, of course, some logistical difficulties like trying to sell a house in Toronto while moving and settling almost 700 miles away. So maybe you're in a similar situation. Also, being from the South, hospitality runs through our blood down here. I have multiple short-term rentals in the area where over 200 visitors from other cities and states have stayed, and they really appreciated the warmth and the welcoming auras, so they could just explore this area without any worry. So whether you're looking to move in 10 days or 90 days, I've got you. My broker and real estate contact info is below, so just message, text, email, call, whatever it is you got to do to begin your journey. Also, make sure to visit my website to search all of the current listings in Abingdon or anywhere in our region, really, and let's find your next home. And of course, as always, welcome to the good life.